Evening all, how are we doing? How's it going, MB? Alright? Happy Pride? I was going to say with my glasses off, but then I realised it doesn't work so well with this microphone setup, does it? Thank you very much for the sticker, I do appreciate. Hope you're having a good one. I've just kind of figured this thing out. Yeah, I've had my shiny, expensive, nice microphone sat in the drawer behind me down here for, God, years at this point. As I switched off of it, because I kept walloping the mic stand. It's bugged me ever since I switched off of it, and the audio quality wasn't quite as good with the shotgun mic, because of course it's not. It's like further away and stuff. But yeah, for that reason, I've been always in the back of my mind going, oh, let's do like a two microphone setup for doing voiceover and stuff, and then I can use the good microphone for that, and use the shotgun mic for streaming and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'll give that a go. So I gave it a go. Turns out my interface and OBS and stuff can't differentiate between the two inputs. So if I have two microphones in at the same time, they're both always picking sound up. I can't switch one off in OBS or pick between them in OBS, which is really annoying. And then you get one volume control as well, so same problem really. So I ended up going, right, well, we'll try it outright. And it seemed all right for the video. Yesterday, the camp build, I recorded the voiceover for that with this microphone. So yeah, we're switching back to, at least for now, we're going to have a crack at the Neumann, however you say it. It's a German brand. But yes, it's considerably better than the other one. So hopefully it'll sound good and stuff. I've played around with a number of things. It might be a little bit too loud, I'm not sure. We'll see. Keep an eye on it. But I played around with a number of like filters and EQ and stuff like that to make sure the EQ is right for this mic rather than the other one, which might actually be better for the other mic as well, because, you know, we live and we learn and we redo these things. Yeah, that's where I'm at. We're going to play some Tainted Grail today, because chill out. I was going to do it yesterday, but I was still knackered after I was done and just didn't have the mental energy, so I didn't. Also made a couple of other changes around here, so we'll see whether or not any of those come into effect ever, I guess. Yeah. A little bit of my nail is catching on things. Yeah, did we all see the showcases and stuff so far? I've seen the Xbox Direct, so I've read up on a couple of other ones. I didn't watch much of the Outer Worlds Direct after the Xbox showcase, because I watched the beginning of it, and it occurred to me, I mean, unless they really heck it up, which I don't think they did, then nothing's going to change for me between now and release, and it all depends on what it's like when it actually releases, because I have feelings about that game. But yeah, if they really screwed up the presentation, then they might put me off, but otherwise it's just, well, I'm kind of want to see how it pans out when they actually release it, because the first one was a massive disappointment to me. And the second one, well, it's got the same brilliant premise. We'll see if they pull it off this time or not. Hopefully they will. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, if anything is horrific with the sound levels and things like that, then do let me know, and I will tweak and adjust things. Yeah, hopefully it will be all fine. For now, let's switch to the game screen. My Stream Deck is a little bit harder to reach, because I've got to reach under the mic stand, but I could put it all the way over here, but then I've got issues with the cat. I might put it over here, but then I've got issues with there being a heck of a lot of stuff over there. Not that much stuff, I suppose. My phone could go in front of me, and then I could put that over there, couldn't I, and things. But then I'll have to rerun cables and things. Anyway, I do know this, what the fuck's called, menu screen is unreasonably loud, so I'll have to wait till we're off that before I turn the sound on from the game. Yeah, well, I made 9 videos, I think, this week, NB, something like that. So, it's no bloody wonder I wasn't that good, really. I'm feeling unusually tired and worn out. Why might that be? Because you worked your fucking arse off, that's why. Anyway. That's the way of things. I might be a bit too loud compared to the game. We'll see how it goes. Let me know. I can always adjust things. So, to take a swig. Hang on. It's probably going to involve doing It's Sunday, so it's beer time. I've earned a beer. I also went to the shop today, which involved leaving the house and therefore earned me a beer as well. This is my my theory. I've earned a beer this week anyway. So, we haven't picked up anything like all of the quests. We've picked up a whole bunch of quests, but there's loads more to do. I don't want to try and farm them all up bit by bit by bit, because it will take blooming ages. So what we're going to do, he says, thinking, pondering and stuff. I think we're going to start off by doing Dead as Dreams and start going and investigating the zombies. Well, the undead anyway. And we'll sort of figure it out bit by bit from there. Because I will want to push somewhat off to the north, somewhere up here, where it's going to be getting into some very dangerous territory for me at a low level. So I might have to be sneaky. Because there's an armor set I want to go after here, but I can't quite use it yet. I only found it last night, I think. I think it was last night. Yeah. Otherwise, let's have a look at my inventory and see what's what. I've got summon on here, and then I've got fire and a wand, ice and a wand, and different fire and a wand. Yeah. So firebolt, ice bolt, contact flame, and then basically burning hands. I've got this here because I'm really not going to use that, but wands are weird. Wands and staves and things like that. They're basically offhand weapons that you can block with. Or you can use them as a club if you have them in your right hand. But they don't do any particular use other than giving you a secondary effect, really. In this case, they give me reduced mana cost, and I can block with them. Not excellently, but I can do. Dodging is far more useful, and I should have like 3 or 4, because I'm on light armor weights, so I should have like 3 or 4 dodges, I think. 4, yeah, before things go belly up. So, yeah. That away. She have some vodka. No, fuck no. Not a fan of whiskey. I do enjoy whiskey, actually. I enjoy good whiskey, I should say. Important stipulation. Carry's 22. I'm clearly not overburdened with that. And yeah, I enjoy good whiskey. Good Scotch, specifically. Usually Island, not Highland. Given the choice. I like the peatiness. A smoky aftertaste. And frankly, foretaste as well. But I'm on Hobgoblin at the moment. Sunday beer. I have to go to my local Tesco Express. Because when I ordered my shopping the other day, they were severely lacking in... No, I've got an idea. I'm sure this is a good idea, but I've got an idea. Yeah, we're going to try it. They were severely lacking in coffee, primarily, and yeah, it was not great. There we go, I summon a wolf. Get behind this guy. You know what? I think this. Yeah, let's try the icy one for the lols.
Pay for that. This is my lucky day.
You say that, you're getting frozen quite aggressively here. It doesn't seem to be your lucky day at all. There we are. Ooh, we've got a bit of laggy going on. Allegedly, I have points available. I do, so I'll do something about that in just a moment. This stuff probably not worth taking, but we'll have a gander. See what the value of this stuff is. 50 at 1, that's not terrible. 20, that's definitely not worth having. 90. Okay. And those? 15 at 0.2, that's alright, don't mind that. Vodka with lemonade. Yeah, vodka with lemonade is, if I remember rightly, the source of my troubles, to be honest, in me. When it comes to vodka. There was once an incident. Long ago. So, definitely going into spirituality, because I need that. So, I am going to look at. Buff my armor weight thresholds, increase the armor value. Yeah, I'm just going to focus on buffing the armor weight thresholds because those are definitely worth having right now. Just to make sure that I can move as much as possible, considering I'm not going to be a strength build. I want to give myself as much headroom in my armor as I can. That's not a firkin. Try not such nonsense with a former bartender. Bullseye. I hit him, not the piggies.
Oh my God, pay for that! You're in for a world of hurt! You're in for a world of...
Okay. Was a little on the fence about whether or not I stick with the wand or I grab a sword or something. 'Cause there are some fun ones out there. Swords. It wasn't worth it, was it? Those were, seem to recall. But yeah, that might have been involved in, but yeah. And I'd forgotten how much of a buff you get from having a wand, so... Or can get, rather. Parrying gauntlets? Can I wear those without it being a problem? No. I mean, I could wear them, but I won't get the parrying effect, so... This build... Giving up pork. Yeah, life without bacon, almost as bad as a life without lactose. Almost anyway.
Belongs to us.
Just chill out there, buddy.
Ah, that's all you've got.
We'll have to go and make some sales fairly promptly. Well, we can do this in a two-part thing, can't we? Maybe. 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 There's another big patch for this game a couple of days ago, which is cool. You know, aim for one big patch a month going forward, and probably small... no. That should have been something like a patch a week or something. I can't remember now. I did read this like last night, I think it was. Oh, this is where we need to be, but this fella has got large quantities of resources, so I'm going to nab them. Yeah, fair enough, Emily. Such things don't trouble me too much, mostly on the basis that our level of intelligence won't stop animals eating us. They get half a chance, so, you know, all's fair in love and war. Pig will gladly eat your corpse just as much as it'll eat anything else. Do I still not have a woodcutting axe? Freaking hell. On this save, at least, apparently not. Spooky music. Who keeps canine meat in their wardrobe? Weirdo. Even I know that's weird. Yielding Sentinel. What the heck is that? It is an armor relic. Okay. Need the plate. I think anything else he hasn't got nailed down that's worth it though. Okay, recipes. What we got? Not very much, apparently. Not quite enough headroom there. Curtain, that's his front door. Yeah, veal is particularly grim. It really wouldn't go there. Draw the line somewhere this side of that. Veal's just abusive. Everything else is more or less just nature at work, but that veal's just abusive. Right, this is the guy we came here to chat to. Well, it is. He's not particularly chatty right now, though. There we are.
Oh, a new face. I haven't seen you before.
Nope, no you haven't. You're Marg?
It depends on who's asking and why. No, I'm kidding. I don't meet many outsiders these days. I'm Marg, a hunter in the service of the Horns of the South.
There we are, that should be alright. Anything interesting around here? Tell me about yourself. Anything to do? Tell me about yourself.
No.
Oh dear. Literally. Alright, suit yourself. I was just trying to make conversation.
Respect your candor. You need to understand that when someone enlists with the Horns of the South, he leaves his former self outside the walls of the keep. His old life, it loses all meaning. If someone comes here and gets political, well, they'll end up disappointed.
Well, good saying your old life's outside the walls when you're outside.
Becoming the captain is a curse for any true keeper. It's not the honor others on Avalon seem to think it is.
That's quite a pretty deer, that one. How so?
Because the captain answers to Kamelot and its representative, Galahad. So every captain needs to get political, whether he likes it or not.
It does sound like it would suck.
Galahad is a real piece of shit. He burns people under any pretext whatsoever, or none at all. He sows terror. I have no respect for the man.
Yeah, he does sound like an asshole, to be honest. Anything interesting around here?
Everything is interesting around here. But ultimately, it depends on what you're looking for.
Game audio is a bit quiet, is it? Okay. I don't think there's much I can do about it in game. No. That's fine. I can do something about it outside the game. Let's try that. Anything I can do for you?
I'm self-sufficient enough not to have to ask for help. However, I suppose I could help you. I could share some things I found out during my hunts.
Yeah, he's got a shop, okay. He's got some arrows. Got a lot of arrows, actually. That's good to know. Copper arrows and stuff if you want to buy them. That's tan leather. Arrows, how to make more arrows, fire arrows and other types. Okay, that's actually useful stuff there if you're going to be an archer. I am not, though. What are you doing for cash? Probably alright, I assume. Right. Quartermaster told me you have a problem with the undead.
I don't know what it is about this place, but even the dead hardly ever get any rest. Though I'll admit, it's getting worse lately. They keep emerging from the local cemetery in numbers greater than that small plot of land ever held. So I'm guessing we might have a necromancer on our hands. And here I thought after the Charred Conclave, we'd have more than 100 years of peace from them.
Do you have often have problems with necromancy in these parts?
Only every century or so. But even that's too often if you ask me. Something seems to draw them here. Well, it's probably all that death. The South has always been restless. And after what happened with the sunken village, I guess death has seeped into the very soil of this land. Must be quite alluring for that lot.
Why can't you deal with it yourself?
Because I'm not stupid or suicidal. I can go up against a few undead, but their masters are a different story. I'm a simple hunter, while they have the power to raise the dead. Arrows are only good against magic if you're far away from the caster, which is impossible in the crypt. But if you decide not to help,
Not if you're sneaky, though.
Will I? Or I could just wait for the necromancer to be destroyed by what they summoned. It happens sometimes, from what I've heard.
I'll find out what's happening.
Good. And try not to die. That undead swarm doesn't need any more recruits.
See how that does. I turned most of the in-game sounds down a bit. But to kind of set them off against the voices, which I can't push up any higher. So we'll see how we do there. We'll see. I feel like the music volume is weird. The audio in this game is weird. It's one of its biggest shortcomings. So I'm sitting there. Interesting, I don't think I can save whilst I'm on horseback. I can't. Weird. So, this fancy suit of armour I want to get my hands on is somewhere. Actually, somewhere up this way. Actually, on second thoughts, I didn't need to save it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ride on by and see if I can get it. And on the way, or no, we'll hold off and get it later, I think. I don't think it'll be particularly advantageous for me to try right now. Gotcha. This is the Grindel I love much. Oh, it's got a couple of bits. No point taking the hammer, it's heavy and worthless. All good. We'll see how we do. I appreciate the feedback, Emily, so yeah, keep it coming on that one, because obviously I can't hear quite the same as you can. I've got levels and stuff, I've got visual representation over there, but what I'm hearing is not the same as what you're hearing. I would have to faff around in a manner that I can't really be doing for that. Oh, well. I can use that to heal myself if I need to. I don't right now. So you're going to let that guy get a bit nearer. Let's come this way, just so I don't have to go quite so far to loot him. And risk attracting any other unwanted attention while I do so. Lots of zombies. Well, skilly boys. Oh crap, we've got a corpse eater as well. Okay. I have questions. Question number one is, which of these does more damage? Burning Ember does 7. Hellstone does 6 to 8 for the same cost. Okay. We'll make Hailstone my priority because it does more damage. It doesn't have the explosive AoE, but that's cool. Sunday night, I guess, is a little unexpected and out of left field for people. That's all good. They may or they may not. I did post on the socials, so we'll see whether or not anybody drops in. It's all good. I wanted to get a stream in to make up at least part way for the streams I missed. Yeah, Thursday, Friday. And also I just want to play this game, so, you know. Culinary Madness with Rumpolt Part 3 by Rumpolt Finini. Seafood dominates southern diet, product of tireless fishermen and fine craftsmen of net makers. As at the renowned fish market near the village of Sewell's Crypt, I saw their dedication firsthand. So I'm guessing that was the sunken village was originally called Sewell's Crypt, because nobody seems to remember that anymore. It's interesting. During a day on the sturdy boat named Castor, I heard tales of a sea monster, a beast of scale so hard that Ionis, a determined fisherman, shattered harpoons against it until the creature devoured him. This inspired my recipe, sea monster. Fishermen also spoke of Murak? Sea maidens said to lure men with their song, dragging them into the abyss. The legend became the theme for my sea dessert. Danger and wonder lie in these waters, reflected in the stories and flavours of the South. Stay put, you wriggly mutt. Points available, allegedly. Oh, cool, I've leveled up. Wonderful. Suddenly going for that armour seems a little bit more worthwhile. That was actually suddenly seems a lot more worthwhile. Look, rest here, nice. So let's take the level up. Go for the armor threshold again. Now I can start thinking about other things. Nice. Any cooking to do while I'm here? They give me 96, 84, max health buff, 60, and stamina regen. 82. That should be okay. Cool. Make food and stuff here while I'm at it. Just shovel. Still on the lookout for an axe. One big concern is I know that the enemies around this camp that I want to get to get this suit of armor are going to be tough AF. I could be in for a time. So I think it might be a little bit late and the Wyrdness might be about to be out and about, which would also be bad. Okay, so I have to find somewhere to set up camp, because I definitely can't be dealing with this stuff in the night time. The road's a little further to the left, is it? So too are banditos. I'm not sticking around to meet those mofos. I say that, and I'm seriously hoping you are wrong, sir. Yes, good, I know where I am. In some dangerous territory, being shot at by bandits. Yep. There is the evening drawing in. So I need to be up here, really. Means going this way doesn't seem to be getting me anywhere. Freaking red caps. Wonderful. We're enough trouble as it is without it being night time. Ooh, let's get our rest on till morning. I get damage against the undead with fire. Unfortunately, it would seem not. Nimble fucker, ain't he? Well, gotta do what you gotta do, right? There's his scarlet domed friend. I may have also murdered. There he is. Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't mind them changing the rules up once in a while. I think expecting things to stay the same is probably not the play anyway. So it has me slightly worried. This guy in particular has gear better than I had at level 10 or so.
You're nothing but a peasant. Beg for mercy.
On my
Show me what you're made of. You fight like a milkmaid. I'm invincible. It's just a flesh wound.
This is the Dark Knight that I'm throwing things at.
Back to your hovel, coward. You'll fall to my sword.
Hopefully not. That's the idea anyway.
I'll strike you down. I see fear in your eyes.
Not fear, buddy. It's just a due sense of caution with the fact you're wrapped in steel and carrying a big chopper.
I see fear.
And I am definitely not.
I'll strike you down.
Yeah. That guy's gear is better than what I had on my character at level 10 previously. Found it on the other guy, my two-hander. Woodcutting axe, definitely want that. What about the rest of that guy's stuff there? Now we got a quick save. Of course, they have friends. Or at least acquaintances. I don't know if they could trust each other enough to be called friends. Last time I was here, there was a bloody archer. Yeah, I knew that.
Did you hear something?
Whoa, that's the way this is going, is it?
Ah, that's all you've got. Your wealth is ours. Your wealth is ours.
I think not. Is what I came for. Spell Slinger's gear. Yeah. So, that's ugly as sin, but hey, it's better across the board. Better armor and mana regen. Weighs more though, so that's an issue. Armor. Also weighs considerably more, but increases my spell power and gives me better protection. Gloves. Again, better armor and gives me more spell power. Same armor, but gives me extra mana and weighs actually a tiny little bit less. That's nice. And boots. Weigh a smidge more, but give me spell power for the same armor. I was disappointed that this armor set was actually worse. This armor piece was worse than the other one I had on my other character, though, because it's quite cool. Yeah. Still, that looks pretty badass, I think. You know what they need to put in this game? A transmog option, or at least an outfit set that doesn't weigh anything, so you can have whatever visuals you want. Because I'd like to have that invisible. Because then my character looks like an absolute legend. And I don't think I want that visible anyway, but I'd like a different hood to have over the top of that. This is still quite cool. Hang on, there's a couple of things I need to do here. Make sure that's rolling. It is, and then we're going to open this up so if I can get a better picture. There we are. Just taking a couple of quick screenshots there so I can cut him out in cool armor. Now, technically, I'm still in light here. I don't know how I managed that. By the seat of my pants, I think. So I picked the right threshold upgrades anyway. Because any more weight and I would be in trouble. But I still keep my 4 dodges and I've got some cool spell slinger armor that looks badass. Cool. So that is a well-made trip. Oops, didn't want that though. Jeez. There's a guy I found who we'll get to eventually, though probably not today, who decidedly has Shigurath vibes about him. At least I think they would get along very well. There we go. It's the third person button. Nice, that went well. It kept becoming gnomes. I wouldn't be surprised to see a shared mythological history there, or cultural history or something. They're not a creature you see in a lot of fantasy properties, though, red caps. They crop up in the Evil She-Devil's world. But otherwise, you don't tend to encounter them too often. Right. I won't be surprised if they crop up in The Witcher either, but there are definitely moments in this game where I feel like we have some major Witcher vibes. I don't think I will. I think I'm going to ride away on my big white hossy, who steers like he's more of a whale than a horse, if I'm honest. Ooh, motherfucker. I have made some strategic errors here. Nice. Gonna be honest. I don't really end up using that. The other thing I'll do is eat, because I have seen better days. Cheese pie, that works for me. I have to make a little detour and go and sell some bits and pieces, but maybe because these undead seem to be dropping a lot of stuff that I'm liberating from their corpses. So let's go and flog a few bits and then we'll head underground. Evening, Cal. How's it going? Game is good. I am very much enjoying it. Right, so we've got to get rid of Kamelot Soldier's Gladius. I don't think I'll be using that. No. There's better options if I wanted to use a one-handed sword. Probably don't need any of this either, but eh. To be honest, I really don't see myself going down any of that road, so let's get rid of all this stuff that I don't need. Ooh, I boo-booed. It's a major error, but it is a small one nonetheless. Cool. You also play a fair bit this weekend. Nice. I played a bit yesterday. This shiny new armor set I've got. Looks badass AF. I found this afternoon on my other save. I was like, yep, I'm going to check my stats, which I probably did. Realised I could actually, very, very soon, would be able to use this on my spellcaster. Like, fuck yeah, I'm going for that. So I did. And we ran into what was dangerous ground, considering I'm a relatively low-level solo spellcaster at the moment. Although, one advantage that I have by being a spellcaster is that I'm wearing light armor, which means I dodge. I have, like, lots more dodges, or my stamina becomes a serious issue. Whereas my other character wears heavy armor, wields a two-handed sword. So he does not have many dodges. He has to parry, and if you get that wrong, you get clobbered. Generally, I get it right, but it remains. I went basically toe-to-toe with a boss using a couple of dashes and a lot of parries last night, and it was certainly a challenge. Small crypts. Nom nom. Alright. It's a zombie. It's all dark down here. Saw something coming at me then. It did not. Back up, you. I mean, this does feel good, actually, this particular fire spell, but it does also eat through mana, which is not too much of a problem against solo enemies like this. I get clobbered a bit there, didn't I? That's for me. Chow down on some mashed tatties. Feeling ancient, you right? How's the weekend again? Baby burn. The bones. Wallop. The eternal challenge, isn't it? Well, the quest most of us are on at some point. Find willing partner. Or shenanigans and such. A cucumber, am I? No, I'm miles away from it. You could be right about them being vulnerable to fire. Do seem to build up burn respectably quickly. At least the zombies do. Nothing in there about their vulnerabilities. It's not that much like The Witcher. Though it does have its similarities. I shouldn't worry. Yeah, there, MB. Ancient's asexual as well. Asexual deviant in his case. His case? Their case? I don't know. Take your pick. That might not be the same thing. Maybe. In a bit, girl. That's not how you use a shovel. It's not much stealing, is it? So I might as well help myself. What a junk around here. And a random person. Morg.
Oh, who's come to visit me here? Surely you're not here to steal my treasures, are you?
I'm trying to think who she reminds me of, actually. Apart from the Lucky Charms guy in Austin Powers.
Oh, they call me all sorts of things. Evil spirit, lurking fiend, imp fae, nasty little thieving pest. But really, my name is Morg.
Nasty little thieving pest?
It happens. I suspect it's because I really like to snatch people's little trinkets. But between you and me, if they paid more attention, it wouldn't be so easy to steal their things.
This is true. You're really a spirit fiend and all of that?
We're definitely not fae. That's something else entirely. I'm what people wanted to believe in. The one who snatched their last coin for a beer, swearing they had it just a moment ago. The reason they can't find their left sock in the morning. The cause of a missing wedding ring, oh, so on.
We all know what the cause of a missing wedding ring is. Treasures, you mean this stuff?
You offend me in my own home. So not nice. Sure, it's junk to you now, but when you have to head out into the cold and can't find one glove, well, suddenly it becomes very important. And that glove? I've had it for ages.
You steal gloves?
And I'm just helping people appreciate the little things, because those are the only things that truly matter in life, right? At least that's what some bores say. Nah, it's just hilarious, watching you all lose your minds over a missing key or a sock. And I've been doing this for centuries. It's second nature by now.
First nature in this person's case, I think. Centuries, how old are you? Do you really enjoy tormenting people? Never thought about seeing something bigger? Strange place to keep treasures. Centuries, how old are you?
Oh, you shouldn't ask a lady such things.
Why do I get the feeling, though?
I don't remember exactly. 9, 10 centuries at least, maybe more, 15, 23, I don't know.
Hot minute then. Really enjoy tormenting people.
Of course. I mean, the funniest part is, you live in a place where you shouldn't even be, staring death in the face every day. And yet, you get the angriest over the smallest things. The Red Plague? Oh, you'll manage somehow, but where the hell is my favorite pipe?
She may have a point. Ever thought about stealing something bigger?
What is it with you people and gold? I've been around for ages, I still don't get it. I don't give a damn about gold and jewels. When you talk about them, you suddenly get all serious and pompous. I'm just here for fun.
Strange place to keep your treasures.
Strange. I thought people liked being buried with their little trinkets and shiny bits. And since I'll be dying soon, a crypt seems perfect.
Yeah, what now?
That's right. I used to play tricks on people back in the homelands. Back then, they respected me. But ever since we came to Avalon, it's just been getting worse. They're forgetting. Sometimes someone still tosses salt over their left shoulder for me, or maybe leaves a little bowl of milk with honey outside, but those folks are rare now. And when they all forget me, that's the end.
You exist because people believe in you?
Yes. Is that so strange? You can convince yourselves that you have bad luck, illness, love. Why not an old crone who steals your pants?
Any way to save you?
No, it's just the natural order of things. I've lived long enough anyway. But since I'm kicking the bucket soon, I could pass on some of my power to you. What you say?
Why on earth?
Because first you'll have to do something for me, and it'll be hilariously fun.
Okay, what might that be?
Well, before I give you some of my power, I just want something from you. Something stolen. Nothing big or expensive, just a little trinket. Just sneak into someone's house and swipe the shoes, or grab a wooden mug from the tavern. Will you do that for me?
Which was steal for you? No way. You're bluffing, right? Requires high practicality. I'll steal something for you. I don't care. Yeah, sure. All right then. I'll take some of the power in exchange for stealing something that really doesn't matter.
Great. Now you can either keep your word and commit the terrible sin of theft, or break your promise. And if you ever feel like a bit of thievery, I'll be waiting right here.
Yes, terrible sin of stealing something that really doesn't bloody matter, because that's really what she's interested in. Interesting character. Definitely a few interesting types in this game. Which morgue there is one. Welcome back, Cal. Missed out on a highly entertaining encounter with Morg. Well, you may have stumbled across this being yourself. Look at that, that's quite pretty. Realised I went digging in a graveyard. That may not have been the most appropriate thing to do. The game has a lot of surprises. Yeah, I can imagine so. Some interesting bits and pieces I've stumbled on so far. So, we are looking for... really need this, but we're looking for a necromancer possibly, or at least the source of the undead. The Swan Knight stirs, consciousness returning as he surveys the grim scene. His loyal steed lives lifeless nearby, its golden mane matted with blood, eyes wide and empty. Rising to his feet, the knight declares, "My steed is fallen, my shield shattered, my armour torn, yet so long as my sword can be raised, I shall not falter." Blood-curdling, inhuman war cry pierces the forest. The sound chills the air, testing even the bravest heart. "The Picts," thinks the Swan Knight. "They found me." From the shadows the savages charge, their spears poised to strike. The knight stands firm, unyielding, ready to face them. The first Pict lunges, spear aimed at the knight's heart. He deflects the blow with his blade, then strikes true, felling his foe instantly. The second he impales through the chest and lung, the blade emerging in crimson from the savage's back. The third hides behind a wooden shield, but a mighty swing shatters it and splits the warrior's skull, ending the skirmish in a shower of splinters and blood. And that is where you learn to craft the knight's armour. It's good shit, actually. Wardock.
Who goes there? Are you the one responsible for all that racket? People are trying to rest in peace, damn it.
I wanted to use my have the torch out for the conversation so I could see the guy, but apparently not to be. I need to find a better additional weight for this microphone arm. It's technically too good. Seeing as I've currently got a packet of staples taped to it to give it a bit of extra weight because the microphone's quite small. You can kind of just about see how tiny the microphone is there, can't you? Which is next to my not particularly massive hand. Not very large at all. But because it's light, it has its perks, but the microphone arm's too strong, the springs in it, so it wants to just fly off. Right, am I disturbing all these people as people trying to rest in peace? I'm sorry?
You should be. These folks fell into their eternal slumber a long time ago. But some of them have turned out to be very light sleepers.
Isn't that always the way?
But we should at least try not to wake them up.
I'm trying, but...
Ever since people started burning their dead, it's like they've forgotten proper manners in places like this.
Well... Interesting. Who are you?
My name's Wardock, and I am the keeper of this place. I look after the dead, or at least, I try to. It used to be much easier where they stayed in one place. Now I need to keep making sure they don't stray too far from the cemetery. But I'm not complaining. A little exercise is good for the body.
Well, they don't seem to be leaving the cemetery, so that's something. Right, you're not dead, are you?
Dead, alive, what's the difference? I am here.
Pretty significant, really.
I always have been, and I always will be, until the day I'm released from my service.
How long have you lived here?
Truth be told, I'm not quite sure. Has it been a long time since the wave came and swallowed the village? That was when people stopped coming here. It's like the sea washed away the memory of this place as well. I don't remember much of what happened afterwards. I must have fallen asleep for a while.
Curious. Know anything about what's happening here?
I know everything that happens here. If you're looking for some juicy gossip, Beggar from the third row south still has no idea where her husband is.
Curious.
They were supposed to be buried together, you see, but he never showed up. The scoundrel. Everyone here thinks he got remarried and chose to rest with his second wife. Not me. I think he probably got eaten.
Well, you know.
Oh,
the undead.
Master. He's been at his experiments again, I'm afraid. Getting the folks around here all agitated.
What?
Putting them back to sleep again is going to be such a chore.
Who's your master?
Master is master. He commands the dead. I don't know much else. I'm here to serve, not to ask questions.
What kind of experiments are we talking about here?
Dunno. Usual. Glowing chalk, candles, and dead bodies. I even saw some new faces recently, but they didn't stay long.
Why do you serve him exactly?
Because it's my purpose. The sole reason I was brought back. That has never changed, just as I haven't. But I'm happy where I am. The dead need company too, you know. The folks here were forsaken by the living. At least I can make sure they're not lonely.
If they're resting in peace, then they shouldn't be lonely anyway, surely. Where's your master now?
You want me to betray his trust that easily? We barely know each other. I wouldn't tell you even if I could.
Well, I need to enter the crypt.
Interested in local history, are you?
Yeah, sure.
Good, good. The memory of those who came before us should be preserved. I can let you in. There is a small fee of 5 gold coins, for the upkeep of the cemetery, of course. It's constant work, as you can clearly see, and my petitions for additional funds seem to have fallen on deaf ears.
Sure, I'll pay. I'm here on official business for the Horns of the South. Upkeep, this place is falling apart. Place is falling apart.
Ah, that it is. But there's only so much I can do on my lonesome. I cannot ask any of these old folks for help. They're not bound by worldly affairs anymore. The only thing they have left is time, and it wears them down just as much as it does their homes.
Sure, I'll pay. It's only 5, it's not much.
Bless you, kind stranger.
He might put it to good use.
Those
If he doesn't,
old
it's not much.
bones are not what they used to be. Here, just take the key. Be careful, though. There's evil dwelling in those crypts.
It's a good quest, this one, because there's stuff here for pretty much every character build if you go looking.
Graves. It's terribly rude, and I'd rather not deal with the complaints.
Yeah. There's rewards down here that are good for pretty much everybody. No matter what your build is, there's going to be something in here that you want. Avalon Crimes number 26. Okay, that's a bit too long. Don't mind reading within a reasonable point, but I don't want to sit here half the night reading things. So. This game does quite well, and it's not the only one. There's something else I was thinking of recently. I now forget what. It occurred to me that balance of sort of the length of interesting lore and the frequency of it was about right. What have I played recently that fell in that category? I think it might have been this game. For the most part, the lore is plentiful and interesting, but not overly drawn out, so you don't feel like you spend half your time reading note after note after note. Soulstone. Not always the easiest balance to strike, I shouldn't imagine, to be fair. Burn! So you got people burning their dead. I'm gonna burn their dead and all. Bit dingy down here, eh? Looks for me. Not everybody is dead down here is meant to be. Some of them may have arrived a little earlier than intended. Why am I getting medium armor? What suddenly bumped me over the line into medium? wasn't listed as medium before. No, it's this bloody thing, isn't it? So that thing gives me an extra dash. So I'm on 3 without it. If I equip it, I go in medium, so I drop down, and I still end up with 3. In which case, I'll unequip it, because it doesn't look very good on my armour. Not that I see it a lot, but... you know. It's not, is it giving me extra armour? No, it's not. The weight's not worth having if it's costing me the same thing it's granting me, you know? You've been enjoying it? Yeah, I'm definitely a fan so far, Cal. Definitely enjoying it myself. Can't read that. Bisbee, thank you for the sub. Welcome on in. Oh, shite, there's a zombie there. Wallop. I think we're going to take that. Yeah, cool game so far. Lots of different options for builds and playstyles and strategies and things. They have done a bloody good job for a very small team who's never made a game like this before. All credit to them. Oh dear. You're resistant to cold, okay. You resist fire? Yes, you resist fire as well. Do I have an alternative option? Not really. Go with cold, because at least I can keep you at a distance then. Nutmegged him there. Level 7. Very nice. Cracked stone sword. Not taking that because I remember it's extremely heavy. Yeah, I saw a few people online were like absolutely flying off the handle and saying they really didn't like the game and it was crap and blah blah blah. I was like, what? Crazy? Freaking awesome game. I mean, I know it's not going to be everybody's taste, but nothing is, but... There's a few people seem to overlook the fact that it's made by a very small team who've never done anything like this before. Oh, it's not exactly... their general whining amounted to, it's not AAA. I was like, well, no shit. I'm going to go on to Horseshoe. Apparently this is, I'm out of mana right now. Hold that thought, buddy. Might be resistant, but maybe I can at least set him on fire. He seems to be very slow, this guy. I seem to remember him being much faster last time. Got some weird lagginess going on or something. Though I did encounter him on a melee build last time, and I was probably felt faster because he was, you know, up close and personal. Yeah, they're a bit easier to deal with than Dark Souls enemies, but they do have that kind of vibe. Yeah, there's definitely people out there always just looking to cause aggro. Dead Ghouls, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Take the name. That's cool. Way forward. Instead of calling them drama farmers, though, I think we should go medieval and call them gong farmers, because it's kind of appropriate as well. Ooh, looks like there's a new set of possibly alchemy recipes. Belladonna, the Demon's Bloom, Sidonius Geron, from Materia Medica, Volume 7, Plants Perilous to the Mind and Body. Legends whisper of a demoness with raven hair and black eyes whose gaze killed instantly. Sir Gawain, born by fearful villagers, polished his shield to a mirror's gleam. When the demoness sought to strike him down, she saw her own reflection and fell dead. Where her body lay, deadly bushes sprouted, their berries dark and shining as her cursed eyes. Belladonna, or deadly nightshade, is a small bush with oval, purple-tinged leaves and golden-hued flowers. Its glossy black berries are fatally sweet. A dozen can kill an adult, a mere 3 will end a child. Consuming a belladonna brings sweating, shallow breaths, dilated eyes, before hallucinations drag the victim into waking nightmares. Some say the plant's poison pulls the soul into eternal damnation. In small doses, it eases coughs, but even this aid seems to mock the living. Last stand potion. Interesting. Need a medic's measuring tool. That's not worth anything. It's actually worth 13. Still not worth enough to make it worth hanging on to. So, we'll start with healing potions for sure. 2. Mana potion. Kind of tempted to craft a few of these actually. Just in case. And I've got them tucked away. It's fine.
Careful there. Try not to step on the array. It's advanced magic. Very fragile.
Surprisingly reasonable necromancer. Advanced or not, I need you to stop whatever it is you're doing here. Yeah. This guy has obviously stuff that's good for a mage. I don't know which way to go. Attack on sight? Possibly not. I'm also spellcast. I don't want his robes, even though they're decent. They give you extra mana. The ones I've got give me extra spell power, and I'd rather stick with that for now. He might have some other bits that I want, though. Advanced not, I need you to stop whatever it is you're doing here.
Well, what I am doing here is very important. Besides, I'm hardly hurting anyone. Well, anyone that matters, that is.
Kill people and raise the corpses. You're not trying to create an undead army. I'm here to stop you. So you're not trying to raise an undead army?
Oh, please. Is that the only thing people can think of when it comes to necromancy? What
He does have
use
some men
would
I
I
want.
have with an army? My ambition isn't to command the dead, but death itself. I aim to make Avalon a place where people won't have to fear it anymore. The problem is, I keep missing something. Raising the dead is easy, but I don't want mindless minions. I want truly living undead. Yet no matter what I do, it just won't work.
It's because you may know the process, but you don't understand its nature. Spirituality, 100. Got that, cool. You're missing might be practical experience. Can't let you continue with this attack. I know the process, don't understand its nature.
Nonsense. The process, as you aptly called it, holds no secrets from me. I have studied its every stage, every aspect, all while keeping meticulous records. It's almost insulting how straightforward it is, how little variety there is at its very core. Death truly does make all of us equal. And yet, capturing the connection between the flesh and the spirit continues to elude me. No matter how I approach it. I've even tried to force it, but to no avail.
Perhaps it's something unique to every living being. If you try consulting Quardock, he doesn't seem to be a mindless minion. Perhaps something, yeah, have you considered consulting Quardock? No, part of me wants to kill this guy, but part of me is like, because I know if I kill him, there's a little extra section to the quest. I don't think I really need that, to be honest. Tried consulting Quardock?
Wardock. You mean the servant? I'm not sure where you got that idea, but he is indeed merely a minion. Quite a sophisticated one, I'll admit, but he's never said more than 2 words to me.
Might be worth a try. He said more than that to me.
Fine. If you wish to waste your time with him, go ahead. Who knows? Maybe his first master simply forbade him from speaking his mind. Still, don't hold your breath for any groundbreaking insights.
Just noticing something that I might need to attend to. Let's go and see what Quardock has to say. Doesn't feel like it's quite so far when you don't have the undead to worry about.
Oh, you're back.
The master's an interesting person.
Is he? I couldn't tell. I don't mean any offense, but they're all the same to me. Every one of them thinks they're reinventing death or breaking the circle of life. And the only thing they're doing is disturbing some honest folk in their rest.
Where do you serve them then?
I don't have much choice, do I? But I don't mind the service. I like being around the dead. It's just the constant cleanup that gets to you after a while.
Seems not your first master?
No, I'm sure he won't be the last. This place is very popular with their kind for some reason, and they always leave it in such a state. It's not like it would hurt them to pick up a few bones and put them back in place.
You're forbidden to speak your mind to your masters.
No. I just don't think we have anything to talk about. I don't mean any offense, but truth be told, they're all the same to me. Every one of them thinks they're reinventing death or...
Your Earth wants to understand death. Thought you could help him with that.
Oh, does he now? That's quite admirable. And rather unusual for his kind. Normally they act as though they know all there is to know, yet they always end up baffled by their failures. Oh, I'd love to help, but alas, I'm not certain I can. You see, death is intensely personal, and as such, quite indescribable.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, whether you die alone or surrounded by loved ones, dying is the loneliest experience of our lives. It can't be shared or taken from someone. In the end, no matter how it happens, our death is the only thing that truly belongs to us. It's a potent experience, one for which there are no words, because there is simply no need for them. Nobody is meant to die and then return to tell the tale.
I see. Thank you for your help.
I'm glad to have been of assistance. Though I do wonder how the Master will react when he hears about this. I just hope he doesn't do anything that will cause even more trouble here.
Well, I guess we're going to find out.
Well, what earth-shattering revelation do you have for me?
Basically, you need to die.
Are you threatening me?
Warlock told me it's impossible to understand death without dying. It's the one experience that's truly indescribable. Trying to make you realize your pursuit is hopeless. Possible to understand death without dying.
That's, No, it can't be that simple. It sounds so... sentimental. I don't believe in things that are indescribable or unmeasurable.
You believe in doesn't change what is and what isn't. There's got to be one way to find out. Passing on what he said, do with it as well. Well, there's got to be one way to find out, right?
But how do I make sure I don't share the fate of the others? I mean, how do I remain? Ah, that's it. Perhaps that's the very core of the problem. What's needed is a subject who is perfectly aware
Is it going
of what's
on here, right?
happening. One who understands the intent behind everything. And that subject could only be me. Plus, there might be a few advantages to having an undead body.
I doubt it.
Let's see. Just need a few things and...
Look at that. He is now undead. You alright? Are you well? This isn't good. Oh dear. Well, he hath become a zombie. And I'm going to put him out of his misery. Rip. So, do I want his mask? Increases my mana or my mana regen. Weighs less. Slightly more badass looking. Mana regen by 0.5. I don't suppose that's particularly helpful. Compared to a slight buff in mana, I think there's much in it really. This one just increases mana regen. Well, it's all about mana regen, that. Headgear and a robe, all geared towards mana regen. Interesting. He also has Skull Staff. Increases mana shield. Mana shield. Incoming damage is divided between health and mana. And buff that 10%. It's got 50 block. And when you hit, 10% of damage is restored as mana. Just reduces mana cost of everything. So it should increase my survivability a tiny little bit. Because that will reduce the mana cost of everything I cast, allow me to cast more. I'll stick with what I've got, to be honest. However, he does have the ability to summon a skeleton army. Or at least skeletons, anyway. So summon some undead to assist us, if we so desire. Which is quite cool. On the other hand, problem solved. Easily missed, but there's a whole bloody cave network up here if you can get to it. So it's being a bit of an arse right now. There we go, we're in. This is really helping me see much, is it? It's not me, anyway. Consumable that buffs my mana permanently. Zeroth's journal there. Revelations visited me, bringing clarity and unease. My thoughts linger on those who shun me, driven by envy and spite. Like venomous shadows, they sought to discredit my work, poisoning others with doubt and discord. Yet I must rise above their pettiness, keep my purpose untainted. As I unlock life's mysteries, I'm reminded to remain resilient. The envious, like stealthy predators, must not distract me from transcending mortality's limits. With renewed resolve, I press forward, knowing the triumph over adversity will be my enduring legacy. Armour that I can learn to craft another way as well, actually, that. Although not the helmet. Actually, that may not be the case. Maybe misremembering. Actually, yeah, I think you can get the ability to craft that another way quite easily. I do certain things that, like that, do have a lot of duplicates. Ooh, excuse me. Old tiredness catching back up again a little bit. Keeper's tag. Take all this stuff because yeah. It might be sellable. Tag definitely is available to be turned in. Practical guide to profitable armor. I've spent years digging graves. There's one thing I'd learned. It's this: dead men don't need their skin or their bones or much of anything, really. Shame to let it all rot when it could be put to good use. Take drones, for example. The skin turns from tough from soaking in filth, almost like rawhide. Dry it out, treat it with salt and oil, it becomes a fine layer of padding. Light, flexible, and good against the cold. If you're feeling fancy, reinforce it with boiled leather. And then there's the undead grave walkers, the poor sods who crawl out of their coffins. Their bones, though, still solid. Grind them, mix them with resin, and you've got a fine sealant for armour. Keeps the rust at bay and smells better than corpse gas. Now, I won't claim this work as noble, but man's got to make a living, and if the dead can help, why not let them? There's a couple of... oh, there's some interesting bits of armour there, anyway. Burn the candle both ends, only a week now. It's been a very busy week. Trying to catch up a bit over the weekend, but still a bit worn out nonetheless. I did miss something. There it is, it easily blends in. The lightning. Not good for this playthrough, but want such things. Oops, sorry about that. Oh, that's what the limiter's for. Yeah, big old hammer that has a chance to do area effect lightning damage, which is quite cool if you're into such things. But as I'm playing a wizardy guy, not really fitting for this build. I'll head back out this way as the exit's right there. Much more direct. Yeah, we got a little buff to our mana and some other bits and pieces while we're at it. Yeah. Oh, Warlock.
Oh, well, this is a fine kettle of fish, isn't it?
In it.
Poor master. He must be terribly confused.
You already know?
I am the keeper of this cemetery. I know everything that happens around here. Master is... well, he's not really the master anymore. But he became one of us, so it is my duty to watch over him.
What should we do with him? What do you think went wrong? I'll leave him in your care. He's a little bit dead. What should we do with him?
Oh, it's very kind of you, but there's no need to worry. I will take care of him, just as I care for the others. I cannot promise he will be happy, but I'll at least make sure he'll be at peace. His mind has always been so tormented. He deserves some respite.
Where do you think it all went wrong?
Master's heart was in the right place, mostly. But his head was always all over the place. The dead, you see, they have simple needs and simple regrets. When there's too much clutter, things can get tangled up. But who am I to dwell on such matters? I'm just a simple servant, after all. Things like this are far beyond my understanding.
Well, I'll leave him in your care then.
Please, visit any time. I'm sure it'll make him happy. And I suppose I won't be going to sleep just yet. Not while the Master is still adjusting to his new state. It might be a good time to tidy up around here. Who knows? I might stumble upon a few useful items for your journey. So, don't be a stranger. Oh,
There's something there. How about tax calling? Ooh. Explodes at a random nearby corpse. Dealing damage and bleed to enemies in the area. Continually heals you from a nearby corpse. I don't think that's that useful. It's a bit too dependent on there being dead things nearby. The other spells I've got are definitely a bit more productive. Kamelot has long lost all its glory and splendour. Now stands as something that I didn't quite catch there. So, I've got points available, have I? So, what would be good? Spirituality will give me more spell power and mana. Physicality. Dexterity. Endurance. Strength. I still don't see a reason to not do spirituality at the moment. I'll change my mind at some point in the future, but for now I'll leave that there. So we've done practicality as far as I need to, so I think heading down the magic road is probably the way. Dash costs less stamina. Add an additional dash. Regenerate faster. This is appealing, but I'm okay for now, I think. More mana, that's not such a bad thing. Wands and cubes. Increase spell power when equipped, that wouldn't be a bad thing. Summoning. Active summons increase mana regen. But straight up boost to spell power. Elemental damage applies status build up. Well, we kind of do that already, but I guess it applies more. Spell crits. Spell hits reduce. Oh no, critical hits do reduce stamina. I have to cast a spell. Next spell with a lower mana cost. What? That's appealing. That does have an appeal to it. Spell power is probably the way to go for now. Just add to my damage. Nice. That went well. I thought there was something else I wanted to do in that area, but I've forgotten what it was. Maybe I'm misremembering something. In the meantime, we'll head back to the Horns of the South. Yeah, feel way more badass than we did. So what can we sell? Quite a lot of stuff, to be fair. Get one of those at least. One of those. I'm going to keep that armor. I don't think I'm going to be using it, but I'll keep it anyway. Yeah, I think. Cool. Making progress. Got a few bits to drop off. Hold on to that. This is reduces mana cost. Blocking regenerates, health is mana, attacks regenerate, 10% damage of mana. This is reducing mana cost. Yeah, I think that's probably better actually. Pretty good. Crafting materials stored, and then have to lug those around. Okay. Cool. Think I want different wand, but otherwise we good.
Stay out of my way.
See if any stuff have grown back there, but apparently not. I guess. Path Forgotten Cemetery.
Yes? Did you find out what's been happening out there?
Sure did. Necromancer was conducting experiments, not your problem anymore.
Great. A necromancer. Just what we needed. It wasn't the dark
I quite like
druid
it.
from the legends, was it?
It was me. Yeah, stumbled across it this afternoon. Yesterday. One or the other. And yesterday, actually. Thought, yeah, you know what? It's only just got slightly higher stats than I had when I started the stream. So I was like, yeah, I can get there quick enough. I'll run over there and take a risk and try and pick it up early. I did, and I'm quite happy about it. No, it wasn't the Dark Druid.
Good thing you got rid of him then. We already have the Dalriada almost on our doorstep. We don't need an army of the undead to boot. You did well. Maybe it's not so bad having you here.
Ringing endorsement. Have another tag.
You know where to find me if you come across any more.
Nice. You give me anything cool or just cash? Just cash, I think. Maybe some XP. Okay, right, I need a swift trip to the bathroom, so I'm going to do that. And yeah, we'll have a chat with some people and do some bits to wrap things up because time is ticking on. But there's a few bits we can do nonetheless. So yeah, BRB, I'm going to go that way. I shan't be a moment. And yeah, we'll dive back in. Again, music should do the job for now, shouldn't it? Yeah, no worries. Anyway, won't be a minute. Alrighty then. Trousers are ridden up, that's not ideal. There we go, that's better. Anyway. So, I don't think there is much in the way of massively pressing quests elsewhere. Not hugely pressing stuff, no. So, let's pick up a few other bits. This fella has something to say. Lanzo.
If you're here to see the healer, don't bother. He's a quack and a butcher who likes to watch people suffer.
Serious accusation?
And I mean it! He's a know-it-all from Kamelot, but the truth is, he doesn't know shit.
All of those academic types think they're better than us village folk, just 'cause they read a book. We've been getting by just fine without any of their crap.
Yeah, of course you have.
I came to him with a toothache, asked him to make me something for the pain, and you know what he did? He said my tooth is rotten, and then sent me to Osbrit to get it pulled out.
Sounds reasonable. Sounds painful, I wouldn't want that either.
That, and I wouldn't trust him anywhere near my mouth. Don't get me wrong, Osbrit's a decent blacksmith, but he's no good with teeth. With one lad, it took him 3 tries before he got the right one. I'll stick to my grandma's potion for toothache.
He's got a point there.
Or I would, if Heber would stop being such a dick and make it for me.
Why can't you do it yourself?
Heber took the recipe from me. And even if I had the recipe, I'm no good at mixing that stuff.
Said if I don't know how to make it, I shouldn't have it. And that he doesn't want some questionable homebrew medicine spreading through the keep.
I see his point. I'll talk to him, but not for free. If you just remove the tooth, you wouldn't need a potion. Why doesn't the medic want to make it? Why doesn't the medic want to make
Says
it?
it's no good. Says that if I don't get the tooth pulled out, it'll keep hurting.
But if it's rotten,
I told him that's why I need the remedy, to make it stop hurting.
it won't
It's like
unrot your
talking to a
tooth,
brick
will it?
wall.
I suspect that the medic feels the same way. Yeah, he definitely needs to come out, but I kind of understand why he's reluctant. But at the same time, especially if the blacksmith took 3 ties to get the right tooth. But at the same time, if he doesn't have it taken out, no potion is going to unrot it. It might stop it hurting short term, but it won't cure it. So, we'll talk to him.
You will? Oh, you're a lifesaver. Tooth saver, yeah? No matter.
Or we could just punch him on the jaw and make it fall out. Tempting. Let's go talk to the medic. Yeah, the medic should probably get a pair of pliers of his own and pull the tooth out himself. At least he'll get the right one then. And Heather.
Oh, sorry. Do I know you? I'm terrible with faces. Either way, glad to make your acquaintance. I'm Jan Heber, a physician raised in Camelot and trained in the Royal Academy.
That recipe you're just whispering to
Some
yourself?
local witchcraft I've been trying to make sense of. I guess I'll find out when I try it.
On yourself?
Experience is the best teacher. Don't worry, I'm not testing anything on the others. Graham the Mad, a great Camelotian physician, used to say that a real doctor would never give his patients something he hadn't tried on himself first. A wise approach, which I follow myself.
And also, I suspect he was called Mad for some reason of his own. You don't see the irony?
What irony?
I think that doesn't know. Isn't that dangerous?
The pursuit of knowledge is always dangerous. That's why it's reserved for only the bravest of the brave. It takes true guts to face the unknown, to realize just how little you know, and how insignificant you are to the world.
Try that on me.
Oh, that was unexpected. Here, take it. What will happen, I have no idea. But please, tell me, if you live to find out.
Oh, great. Not a fan of local
I
remedies?
was classically trained in the proper art of medicine by the scholars of Kamelot. The things they do here, they make no sense. No sense at all. Most of this stuff shouldn't even be effective, yet it seems to work wonders on these simple-minded, tough-bodied people here in the south.
Hey, if it works. So why do you even study this stuff?
Shipments from Kamelot are late, so I'm running low on supplies. If I'm not able to treat them, they'll start complaining. And Fergus doesn't like when people complain, especially when it comes to their health. He truly cares about them, I've got to admit. He doesn't care much about anyone else, though.
You look like you're in dire need of sleep.
I don't dream about anything anymore, so sleep feels like a waste of precious time. Fortunately, back in Kamelot, I found a mix of remedies that can keep me awake for a whole week. It was quite popular in our study group.
Doesn't seem like a very good idea.
Oh no, every physician needs his secrets. But I can sell you some if you promise not to tell any of the higher-ups.
What would the leadership want to know?
There are side effects. You won't fall asleep for a while, but the moment you do, well, you'll feel like you died and came back to life, only to die again. So you either take the next dose or endure it.
So the
I can
withdrawal
endure
is
it
hell.
because I don't have a post to attend to. But our brave soldiers, well, that'd be risky.
If I detail someone?
Well, they already trust my word, and I'll be sure to deny everything. Moreover, I'm in the position to raise my prices or to refuse to sell you medicine, whichever suits my mood. I'm honestly quite offended you're even asking.
There's a point. So what exactly are you doing here?
Healing diseases, sometimes cutting people open. Oh, and pulling out teeth seems to be a leading cause of concern for everyone around here. Me pulling teeth in the arse end of the world? My friends back in Kamelot would laugh their brains out.
There's a keeper with toothache complaining you don't want to help him.
Lanzo knows very well what he must do. I'm sorry, but there's nothing else I can do for him. Either he removes the tooth, or it will keep hurting.
He says something about a remedy.
Yes, his grandma's miracle medicine. I honestly don't have time for village superstitions. I had to confiscate the recipe as well, lest he tries making it himself. As if I don't have enough problems already.
Why would it cause
Times
problems?
in the keep are tough. Everyone is either bored or restless. Honestly, the last thing I need is people poisoning themselves with some unknown potion they don't even have the qualifications
It's not a
to
bad
make.
point. Do I have the recipe?
No, I thought I made myself clear. If you want an excuse to drink yourself to oblivion on moonshine, just drink the moonshine. No need to add other potentially dangerous ingredients.
Potentially dangerous ingredients like what?
Well, to be fair, the base recipe is pretty harmless. But what if someone decides that if they don't have carnation, it's perfectly fine to substitute it with devil's snare, since the color is more or less the same?
Not even close
Or
to being the
sage with
same.
wolfsbane, because, you know, leaves are leaves.
Carnation and
I'm sorry,
sage,
but
okay.
Unfortunately, I know these people well enough not to trust them with something like this.
And moonshine. So moonshine, carnation, and sage, and I get the remedy?
What? How do you... You know what? Fine. Do whatever you want. But if it causes you to shit yourself for 3 days straight, don't come running to me.
Aside from that, anything else I can help you with?
Why would you, though? Don't you have better things to do?
Yeah, it's kind of what I do. Trying to get in the Quartermaster's good books? Not really, not at the moment. I'm trying to get in the Quartermaster's good books. No, not really, not at the moment.
Well, if you're not in the mood for sharing, then I won't ask. You might have more success getting people to trust you with their personal matters if you were a little bit more forthcoming.
I was honest. I'm trying to get in the Quartermaster's good books.
Aha, got it. So you're up for work not out of the goodness of your heart, but for your own selfish plans.
Good summary. Does everyone have an agenda? I'm up for work if it pays well. Does everyone have an agenda?
Good point. That is a very good point. But all right, if you're a mercenary, then I do have a job for someone who'd be willing to risk their life in exchange for material goods.
Details.
Back at the Academy, I found an ancient scroll written by the Druids.
Did you
Forbidden
know?
knowledge, especially now, after the mob forced them all into a wicker man and burned every last one of them to ash. I finally deciphered it a little while ago. It describes a ritual that needs to be performed at night within a stone circle. And guess what? There's one in the nearby forest. I guess you already know what I need you to do.
Go there, perform ritual. Mob burned all the druids in a wicker man.
And here I am, thinking that everyone's already heard about the Charred Conclave. Well, it wasn't the proudest moment in our history, that's for sure. You truly don't know. At some point, the villagers all around the island decided that the Druids were responsible for the Red Death, and all other ailments of our times. They rounded them all up in a massive wicker man north of the Forlorn Swords, and burned them all to ashes. Hundreds of years of knowledge gone within the blink of an eye. But, well, that's what's bound to happen when you stop paying for people's education and invest in keeping the elites fed instead.
He seems generally... Well, yeah, he seems like a generally alright sort, doesn't he? Although his off you go, do a ritual for me thing doesn't seem that wise. Yeah, burned all the druids to death. I find it oddly suspicious that all the villagers suddenly decided at the same time that the druids were the source of all problems in the land, rounded them up and burnt them. It seems strangely orchestrated to my mind. What's the purpose of this ritual?
That is an excellent question, but I don't know. From what I've been able to decipher, it's a summoning spell to bring something or someone to
All
our
a bit
world.
nuts from what I've noticed,
will
Carl.
share its great knowledge with the one brave enough to summon it. I need you to remember what it says and repeat it to me after you're back, word for word.
Why can't you do it yourself?
Isn't it obvious? I'm the only medic they have here at the Horns. I'd like to see Fergus's face if he hears about me going out there.
Okay, let's do it. Is your fascination with druids illegal?
In Kamelot, maybe, but this far south, nobody cares.
That
I've
I
spent
don't
my
think
entire life
is
digging
true.
through scrolls and books in pursuit of their knowledge. I've been reading about their rites and the descriptions of their rituals. Look, I'm sure they were onto something. They knew much more than we do, but it feels like there's a veil wrapped tightly around that knowledge. It's like I need to find the right spell, the right ritual, something that will unwrap it for me.
Yes. Who's got a whole load of stuff to sell? Strong health potion, strong mana potion. Don't mind those two, 400 apiece though. Hold off and see about picking up a later point. What's he got? He's got a flicker bolt, which is a ray. That's decent damage. It's a small lightning shock. Ooh, wouldn't mind that. 400. Hellstone I've got. Venom Flicker haven't got. Shoots a poison projectile. Does AoE damage. I think I'll just get this for now. I don't think we're going to get anything else. Yeah, it seems like a good choice. So I've got ice, fire, and electricity, and a summon. Cool. Got a decent range of stuff for now. Hold on to that for a minute. What's have I got here? His elixir he wants me to try out. Okay, let's try that. And then I'll make the other thing. Didn't seem to do anything to me, to be honest. Was it? Huh. Can only craft the recipes. What's going on there? I seem to be missing one. Supposedly he did give me the recipe, except that I don't seem to have it. Oh, there it is. I need more sage than I currently have, apparently. A couple more sage. I'll buy all this sage, it's worth having. It's good for healing potions as well. That's one. Craft a bunch of those as well. He doesn't want to talk about the remedy that I took. Is lightning one jumps between enemies. Yeah, it looks like it might be helpful.
Ah, you're back! How's the remedy?
Toothache remedy.
Thank you! I'll finally be able to eat something. Here, take this as my thanks for your help.
Excellent. Oh, got a Menhir figurine. Nice. A little extra health. Cool. Perhaps some wood. I'm going to need a bunch of this. At least 150, which I'm not able to get right now. Much wood as I was hoping I'd have there, but still. It's alright. Right. I don't think... Oh, this guy's a quest, I think.
Have you been to see the refugees? I can't believe poor Cole was put in a cage.
Who's Cole?
Hey, what a mess. Cole came to us with a group of refugees from some nearby villages. They were looking for shelter from, well, everything that's been happening here. Bandits, the Wyrdness, the Del Reader, hunger. I was happy Fergus let them in and allowed them to stay. You'll meet them in the village. They live in the buildings up high. Not long ago, though, Cole started acting very strange, erratic, sometimes even aggressive. One of our keepers, old Mahon, tried to calm him down. He might have used too much force, and Cole felt compelled to defend himself. He bit old Mahon. And since then, the old fool has been lying in the infirmary. Frankly, I think Mahon brought it on himself. They shouldn't have put that poor man in a cage. Wait, if you ever meet Patrice, please give her those flowers.
Who's Patrice?
I know it's not much, but I'd like her to know she's not alone.
So he fancies one of the refugees then.
And the other refugees. And I'm sure there are more of us who do.
Keep it dickin'. Keep it Suchibald. You
Good
want?
to see you again. The pledge today was very interesting, wasn't it? The certainty in Quartermaster Aymer's voice. Beautiful. Makes one eager to start work.
I thought Fergus was the quartermaster. More certain you meant Fergus.
Huh? Ah, yes, of course. So, what do you need this time? The pass again? Are we planning a trip to the Stale Lamb? Hey, not this time, my friend. I've run out of ink. I'm waiting for a delivery. Steward Orla will let me know when more arrives. In the meantime, I need to ask you for a favor. So, you in? For the sake of our long friendship?
Steward Orla, I'm pretty sure she doesn't hold that position here.
Orla? I'm sure I'm not mistaken. Anyway, about that favor I asked of you.
We haven't been bonked on the bonds there, buddy. What's the stale lamb?
I guess you still haven't sobered up, huh? The Stale Lamb. You know, the tavern in the village below the keep. It's run by Ron. Truly a great place.
Right.
I hope they're not planning to close it down. Oh, they wouldn't do that, right?
Okay, what's this about a pass?
Just as we agreed. I appreciate that you remember. Holding one's tongue is the key to success. Keep it up.
Right, what do you
Did
need?
you know it needs to stay between us? Do you understand? Say you understand.
I understand.
Fantastic. So, here's the thing. On a recent night out at Ron's, it seems I may have left some sensitive documents at the bar. Documents, with Captain Fergus' seal. But not necessarily sealed by him. You know what I mean. I can't really go there right now. Could you get them back for me? I'm sure it won't be too much of a problem.
So you're saying you left counterfeit documents in the bar? Sure.
Splendid. When you have the
Have a good night,
documents,
Cal.
meet me at the third crowing of the rooster. Or just find me. I'll be around.
Weird fellow. I just have to wonder why one lighthouse wouldn't be enough and they felt they need to build two. Twin horns?
Try to be more careful.
Go on.
Hey. Hello. Are you also wondering why the heck we need them?
Yeah.
Lighthouses. Why the hell are Dara and his workers pushing so hard to build the second one? Is one not enough? Is it because one is less than two and less is worse? I mean, two lighthouses next to each other are almost the same as one, and ships don't even sail this way anymore.
Where's about traditional symbolism?
Ah, symbolism. Yeah, maybe, whatever that is.
Ships don't sail here anymore?
Aye, why would they? The waters are treacherous, so no ships. Storms and the Wyrdness are a deadly combination. Besides, who'd have the time to build or repair them? There are enough problems on the island. We don't need more.
What can you tell me about the Horns of the South? What can one do here? Tell me about the Horns of the South.
Well, not much going on here, as you can see. Things have been a bit different lately, due to the refugees. One was even hanged for theft. But I can't say much more as I wasn't there. If you're interested in the horns, you should visit our museum. You'll learn more about that fella,
Swal, or whatever his name is.
What do you think about the refugees?
What do I think? As long as they follow the rules, they can stay. And if they don't, then they can hang. That's all.
It's a bit
Folks
of an
who say that
extreme
there's
position,
some other
but
group, probably more dangerous, not so far from here. If they come closer, well, that wouldn't be too good.
museum?
Aye, it's boring, but at least you don't have to pay to enter. But almost nobody goes there anyway. From a financial standpoint, it makes absolutely no sense.
Neither does he, though, so, you know. It's such a excessively long run around up there. Do it, but yikes, it's a long way. Very weird sort of location, this. It's fine, but it's weird. Alright.
Hey, you're
They're building
heading
the
to
White
village,
House.
right? Tiernan should let you in. Take this medicine to my father, will you? Goban is a loud man. You shouldn't have trouble finding him.
Okay.
I can't promise that talking to him will be any fun. Come to me afterwards.
Father lives in the village?
Ah, he used to serve too. In fact, he was the builder before me. Now he's just an old fart angry at the world.
But a father is a father, right? We may hate each other, but as long as I can help him, I will. Hence the medicine.
What's wrong with him?
If Haber doesn't know, then I don't either. So we keep trying.
Why won't let you in?
Because he received orders not to let any keeper through without a pass. And I don't have one. I've already used mine. Guess what I used it on? That's right. Bringing medicine to my father. When that Egypt gets an order, he's like a priest who stumbled into an orgy. He's got a stick up his ass. Nothing gets through him.
Oh dear. Keepers allowed to have wives and children?
Not all keepers have been here their entire life, you know? He got me before he joined the Horns. Serves me right for wanting to find him, stupid son of a bitch. If only I knew what it would entail.
Ain't half unloading his life story. You regret becoming a keeper?
I don't know. Following my old man here was all I ever wanted. Never saw myself as anything else. Tried picturing myself as a husband, a father once. But, nah. I wouldn't know how to raise a kid. I'd just mess them up. Like father, like son, I guess.
So anyone can become keeper no matter the age?
Well, no, of course not. We're not priestesses of the All-Mother. A woman can be an old crone and still devote herself to the All-Mother. But a man's got to have some fight left in him to be a keeper. Old enough to hold a sword, young enough to not break under its weight. We all got different roles around the keep, sure. But at the core, we're warriors. Don't
I
forget.
can see the logic, to be fair. Why the second
I
lighthouse?
had a gold coin for every time someone asked me that. I could fund the damn thing myself. Look, it's Kamelot's orders. I get paid to follow them, not to question them. If they want to
It's not
throw
really an
money
excuse
at
for
us
not
to
thinking,
keep up
huh?
appearances, that's their problem. I'm not about to stop them.
Okay, so he is thinking, he just doesn't give a shit. Okay, that's marginally better.
See you around.
Okay.
Oh, Mother have mercy. Not another one. If I let you pass, will you promise not to make any trouble?
Don't know. Trouble always seems to find me. Try, but no promises. No, trouble always seems to find me.
It's just my luck. Take the post, Tiernan, they told me. You'll be looking after a village full of old farts. That's practically early retirement, they said. What a load of crap.
Yeah, I guess it didn't work out that way.
If it's not the deck falling apart, it's a refugee running around biting people.
You said a refugee's biting people?
Well, to be fair, he only bit one person. But it was a keeper. I know Mahone can be a piece of shit sometimes, but gods. Now both of them are sick. And Haber's got no clue what's wrong. Which is the only reason that refugee isn't dead. Yet. So, he's sitting in a cage. His wife's crying all day and everyone's pissed. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in the middle of it all.
Wonderful. Maybe this isn't the job for you.
No need to tell me that. But I can't just go back to patrolling the walls. I'd be a laughingstock.
This is probably true.
I'd rather sit here and hope everything works itself out. I mean, everyone's gotta die someday, right? So whether it's me or them, at least my problems will be over.
Okay. Weird fucking fella.
No, not really. Fortunately.
What happened to the dock?
The deck? Nah, just old wood. Honestly, it's the least of my problems. But I've got no way to fix it. Dara's always busy with his lighthouse, and every time I try to do it myself, someone else needs me for something. I can't even sneak out to the tavern because last time some rich bint started complaining that everything here smells of fish. That's a seaside village. What else would it smell of?
He doth have a point. I'll help you out.
That would be a huge relief. Well, maybe not huge. There are bigger problems, but it'd be a start. Truth be told, I don't know why they want it so badly. It's for boats. No one here even uses boats. But, well, you know how it is with old folks.
And situation is back up crazy.
There's no point in arguing. I'd pay if I could, but this was supposed to be my job. The budget's long gone. But if you're interested, I could teach you a thing or two about home decor.
Say what now?
Not exactly standard keeper knowledge, but, well, we all have our secrets.
Yeah, it's weirdly dropped off a little bit, the volume there, as it does on occasion. Tell me more about this rich mint you mentioned.
Oh, she's a real piece of work, that
There
one.
we go.
Her name's Lady Elisa. Something. I don't remember. She came here with her husband. Poor man. I never heard him get a word in. You know, sometimes I regret not getting married. But if I had a wife like her, I'd just end up being a keeper all over again.
You're into home decor?
Surprised? Can't blame you. This might sound odd coming from someone stationed in a glorified fish bucket, but I've got a thing for furniture. The only thing
like
more
this guy.
mismatched than the barracks around here is my career choice. But, yeah, I like imagining places where things fit. Where chairs don't wobble, tables don't look like someone hacked them together with a dull axe, and beds, well, beds don't feel like they're plotting your murder while you sleep.
That's not exactly a design feature I'd want in a bed. I guess you're into furniture.
Not exactly a secret I broadcast. Most folks see me as Tiernan the Grumbler. But, hey, we've all got something that keeps us sane, right? Mine just happens to be daydreaming about nicer chairs.
Right. And yes, I can buy nice chairs and furniture from him, assuming I had somewhere to put them, which I currently don't have. There are player homes in this game, which is what that is angling towards. I think there's one in each region, I think. but I don't know. What are we doing for time? Well, it is actually about that point in time, isn't it? So, there's a whole lot more stuff to pick up. There's a quest up there to pick up. There's a quest to continue down here. There's a couple of quests this way. There's lots to do, but I think, given the time, it's probably as good a point to pause it as any. Otherwise, we'll be chit-chatting to people for the next hour or so. So, for one shiny evening, I think it's probably about that time. Yeah, that was fun. Hunted down a bunch of undead, dealt with them, and a few bandits, and a necromancer, and got some new gear and some upgrades. We're setting aside foundation to move forward on. I think this will probably be the gear I stick with for at least a while now, so that's cool. A few spells notwithstanding, but I'll have to keep an eye out and find those in the area around. Even Mr. Mob. Yeah, that was fun. I like this game. Like I said, I've been playing as a two-handed sword-wielding, heavy armor-wearing fella on another save, and that goes pretty well. Lots of parries and delivering of follow-up blows. That's quite good fun. Yeah, I do quite I dodge occasionally on that one, and then do a lot of parrying. It's cool. And then, obviously this one is a spellcaster. Sword and board looks entirely workable and viable, quite fun if you're into that, and archery definitely looks interesting. I think that's the other style I'd like to go for. You could definitely do some kind of spellblade type thing, with sword in one hand and magic on the other side. Lurking. Always appreciated. Enjoy. Yeah, definitely enjoy this game. So, as it currently stands, not quite sure what the video plan looks like next week, other than, well, I should probably try and do a best builds video at some point, and possibly camp build at the end of the week. We'll see. I've got another idea. So, that's kind of where I'm sitting at the moment. I've done mostly, well, I got through all of the other stuff I had to do relating to the launch of fishing and stuff, so tons of videos on that front if you want to have a rummage around at the recent uploads, because there's lots of stuff on there, and the patch notes and so on, and we'll have to see what comes up next. Streaming-wise, I'm thinking, given that the original plan last week got changed a little bit, we'll probably jump back to Oblivion and do that Monday, Tuesday. Put that back into the Monday, Tuesday slot, as, well, we didn't get to do it at the end of last week, so... yeah, that's probably a good plan. Otherwise, it'd be like, you know, week and a half or more between sessions rather than a week. Well, yeah, it's going to be a week and a half. It'd be more like 2 weeks otherwise, wouldn't it? Or something like that. Anyway, it's been a while. So, yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll pick up Atomfall at the back half of the week, Thursday. And do 76 on Wednesday, which should be cool. That's my current plan. We'll see where we go from there. Yeah. Thank you all for hanging out. Hope you've had a good weekend. Hope you're enjoying Tainted Grail. I am definitely a fan of this game. And we'll see what happens over the course of summer, because I had a look at the showcase today, the Xbox One. There's a couple of interesting bits and pieces that were announced in varying showcases. Where's my thing? The Xbox One only had a couple of things that were new on it, but nothing major. What did we get? So, Chrysol, Theatre of Idols, looked interesting. Can't remember all the detail. A horror shooter type thing. That looked kind of interesting. It's due sometime this year, probably the autumn-ish, which is where there's a lot happening. Because there's Kronos New Dawn, which is also due in the autumn. That looks cool. That was an Xbox side thing. Outwards 2, we have a date for now, which I did look up and I have forgotten. It's the 28th, I think. Should write that in there. I'm looking at my spreadsheet up here. Where are we? 29th of October. Put that in my spreadsheet. bits going on here. Yeah. So 29th of October is for the Outer Worlds 2, and I'm kind of on the fence with that one, as I have been ever since, well, the last game. Yeah, I found Outer Worlds 1 really quite disappointing, but having a really great premise. And I'm looking at Outer Worlds 2, and it also has a really great premise, but given that it'll be on Game Pass, I'm inclined to actually give them another shot at it, especially as I enjoyed Avowed, so, yeah. Never been really an Obsidian fan before, but I always want to like their games, but they never end up being any good. So, yeah. What the hell's it called? Avowed was the first one I've genuinely enjoyed of Obsidians in quite a long time, and yeah, for that reason and also Game Pass, I'm inclined to give the Outer Worlds 2 another shot, because it should be a great game, as should have been the first one, but they didn't pull it off the first time around. Let's see if Take-Two is any better. But yeah, you know, the investment is minimal, so if it turns out to be crap, it doesn't really matter, does it? But we'll give them a shot. Other than that, what else was there? Oh yeah, there's a new Expanse game that was announced. That's way off in the future though. End of Abyss was an interesting looking top-down kind of horror shooter thing. That's next year. What else was there this year? There was something else. I don't know. I feel like it was oh, yeah, there's Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, of course. And then there's Blood of the Dawnwalkers next year, it's supposed to be. Yeah, there's Bloodlines 2 up there. Why are some of these in white when they should be in black? I do not know. That's very strange. Oh well, I won't worry about it another time. Yeah. So there's a few bits and pieces, but most of it's not until the end of the year. There's Borderlands 4, but I'm not going to stream that anyway. The Altars, I haven't seen anything about that. It's due next week, and as I haven't heard anything about possibly getting a Steam key for it either, I'm not going to push towards it. It looks interesting, but not enough for me to pull the trigger if I don't get a key on it. Yeah, there's a few interesting bits that have been announced. They showed a bit more of Clockwork Revolution, which was really, really cool. Definitely look forward to that, but no date still on it. They just showed it as a reminder that it's happening. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff listed with no date on it whatsoever. But yeah. Vampire Masquerade 2, Bloodlines 2 rather, The Outer Worlds 2, and Chronos New Dawn, and maybe Chrysol as well. We'll see. There's a whole bunch of stuff to kind of keep an eye on that's coming out in the latter part of the year. But the summer is wide open, so that's cool. Don't know how long it'll take to get through Oblivion. A while, I would think. Tainted Grail might also take a while, and then there's then there's Ascenfall as well. So between all of that, it could well be like late summer before we get to the end of these anyway. We start having slots for some of those games, so we'll have to see what's happening and what gets announced later on over the summer and what dates come out. And if it's only a short time, I could put something small on that. I'd like to squeeze The Witcher in this summer, but it's not going to happen. It's going to take a bloody 6 months to get through that, and there's too much lined up. So I'll have to, if I'm going to fit that in, I'm going to have to make some decisions on what I'm not going to play. But I don't know. We'll see how that looks. Anywho, yeah, definitely enjoying this one. We'll pick this one up again next weekend. And yeah, once we've gotten through Atomfall, which I think will be our first finish, then we'll move Tainted Grail into the week. Be cool. Yeah. Anyway, folks, I'll stick that back up there because it's in the way. Thank you for hanging out. We'll be back on Oblivion tomorrow around about 8 o'clock. Should be cool. As I say, check out videos if you haven't. There's bleeding loads of them gone up in the last week. I think I made 9 in the last week. So, yeah, plenty to watch if you're interested. Enjoy. Social media links in the description if you haven't already. Definitely check those out. And channel memberships if you want to do that and support the channel. I very much appreciate. Yeah. Like, subs, notification bell, all that good stuff. We'll dive back in tomorrow, which should be cool. In the meantime, I'm going to put my feet up and I don't know what I'm going to do. Chill. something. Watch something, maybe. Might play some more Tainted Grail, or I might play something else. I don't know. Did my dailies and stuff earlier in Fallout, so that's all crossed off. See what mood I'm in. Anyway, thank you for hanging out. Look after yourself, stay safe, and I will catch you all around and about 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Should be good. So, until then, I'll see you next time. Night-night, folks. Night-night.
No.